We are here today at the YEP.PODCAST. We have our esteemed guest here, Goon, also known as Ruben. And today he is here as a young entrepreneur to tell us about his success. So I'll let you introduce yourself, Ruben. Tell the camera a little bit about yourself, bro.
My name is Ruben. I am 21 from South Australia. I go by the name Goon on social media, and I have a sea salt hairspray cosmetic business. And yeah, a couple followers on Instagram and TikTok.
Just a couple?
Yeah.
Just a couple. So that's where I want to start, bro. So amazing stuff. So I want to know, what was your early life like growing up? Did you used to make videos and stuff growing up? Were you usually right into your sports? What was your life looking like when you grew up, bro?
Yeah, definitely. Like ever since I was young, I was making like stupid YouTube videos, like just making funny sounds, or like Clash of Clans, or like soccer videos. So I've always sort of had a passion for that. And then like coming into later life, I used to have an old TikTok where I'd do like gym videos and whatnot.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, definitely like always been on social media for sure.
What age did you start, would you say?
Oh, like YouTube would have been maybe year 4 or something, like, 12, 11, maybe even 10 years old, just doing like stupid stuff. But
were you ever inspired by the Sidemen, so to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, love
I used to, yeah, for sure. Like all the pack openings and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to film my pack openings like on my old GoPro 3 at like 6 a.m. I'd like film my iPad mini and have like a GoPro pack openings on like FIFA 11 on the iPad.
Wow.
So yeah, definitely Sidemen.
So, okay, cool. So you grew up, you started making videos around the time you were in about year 4?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, so making funny sort of YouTube videos, stuff like that. As a kid, what made you want to do that? Did you feel inspired by anyone in particular that made you want to start creating content?
No, I mean, I had my favorite YouTubers, but like it's just sort of like what me and my 2 closest mates did. We just like all had GoPros and iPads and whatnot, and we liked editing videos like on iMovie. Obviously they were pretty bad back then, but
you gotta start somewhere, bro.
It's just sort of like what we did. Obviously we're into sport and whatnot, but that was like a pretty big hobby, like filming pranks, or we'd do like 20 subscriber specials, like just like kind of random stuff like that.
What was the funniest prank you guys did together?
Oh, it's all pretty stupid. Like I can't really remember much. Yeah.
Don't want to incriminate yourself as well.
Yeah. Can't have people finding out about that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's funny you mentioned that. I did very similar things with you. I saw this guy impersonating Bear Grylls. I don't know if it was Raka Raka.
Yeah,
or
right.
not, but I love watching their content. I thought they were really entertaining.
Yeah, they're from around here.
They're from Adelaide.
Yeah,
so
like Henley Beach.
They're local. Yeah, they had a house in Henley for a while. I don't know if they still live here now, because they're always in LA
they've kind of gone like Hollywood. Yeah,
they've smashed it. Well, they had that new movie, Talk to Me, I believe.
Yeah, and then they're on like Joe Rogan and all of that big stuff.
Yeah, huge success.
Yeah,
huge
good
success.
on them.
Yeah, well, the amazing thing you see is they're from Adelaide. And
you
see, they come from the same town as us. They've, I'm sure similar upbringings in some ways.
Yeah, it was like pretty average.
Yeah, and they've literally made a huge name for themselves. They're associated with, Logan Paul, and they've been on Impulsive. They're associated with all those people out there, and they've just created a huge movie, and they're on to create their sequel.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
Those boys are very talented. Like, even their YouTube videos, like the way they direct and stuff, and now they've taken that to the big screen.
Yeah, they've definitely got an eye for it.
100%. It's good to see Adelaide people though getting a little bit more on the map, because I feel like for a while Adelaide wasn't really recognised, or I think content creation in general isn't really recognised in Australia. It's kind of looked down upon a little bit. Do you have any opinions on that?
I reckon, especially like new content creation, there's not much of it. Like there's no streaming or anything. Like there's not much depth to it. Like there's not many relationships with people in Australia. There's no like beef or anything. Like it's very sort of basic. Obviously it's kind of picking up a bit more now. Like everyone's sort of posting reels and whatnot. But yeah, I think compared to America, it's just like very basic. There's no like, it's just like so 2D. There's no like beef, there's no like relationship sort of like, yeah, it's just very basic, I reckon.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You see streamers in America; they are hugely successful guys. You know, our age and younger.
Yeah.
That are now millionaires because they just stream them playing games and whatnot.
Yeah, and they're all connecting
and
and whatnot. Like, there's not too much of that going on in Australia.
There's not, bro. There is the occasional TikTok event, but
No, that doesn't really count.
I don't
That's
know if
all
you've
like.
been to a couple of TikTok Australia. I don't think a lot really evolves from there. A lot of talk, we'll do this and this, but it's not that. I feel like everyone has real jobs as well.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of money in content creation.
No, not in Australia.
Everyone's usually, every big creator I've met at least, they're usually working a 9 to 5, or they are working another job in Australia because you have to.
Yeah.
You know, where I feel like in America, there's a bit more money behind it.
Yeah, well, you can actually get paid off of Instagram and TikTok, which would help.
Oh, you can't get paid in Australia?
No,
Oh,
not a single cent.
Really?
Not that it's that much. Like, I think it's like a couple dollars per 1,000 views, but over time it adds up.
I heard it was $1,000 per million views.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
Which is, like, it'd be pretty good.
That would make a big difference.
We also don't have TikTok Shop, which limits what people can do, like, who are running an e-commerce business.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sell my products directly on TikTok Shop, just because we're Aussie, which is pretty disappointing. But
they fear us, I think, mate.
Yeah, something like that, mate.
They fear us. That's what it is. Nah, cool, man. So getting back to your early life. So year 4, you grew up making videos. You were playing sports. It was great. What sports were you playing?
Oh, soccer.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, like 15 years.
Killer. Did you play for a club or?
Yeah, Sturt Lions, just like a local club.
Lions.
Yeah. Did you play?
Yeah, bro. I played for West Adelaide Cobras.
Yeah, right.
Up until I was 17, I believed.
Yeah.
So adored my soccer, bro.
It's a good sport.
My early game was, I think I'm going to be a professional, and I just trained every day. And then I think I got older and I was like, damn, I want to make money. Like, that's
what happens.
Interested me. Yeah, I think you just get older and you kind of prioritize a little bit different. But that's amazing, bro. So when did your content start to pick up a little bit?
I think, before the account that I have now on TikTok, I had like one that had 10K followers. I was just doing like sort of the silly gym stuff.
Gym edits?
Yeah, just gym edits and random like stupid stuff. Like nothing consistent. I wasn't really like following trends or anything.
Yeah.
And then
might be fun, eh?
Yeah, exactly. And then I created like the current one, and it took like a few months for it to pick up back in like 2021, I think. Yeah.
That's your current style now?
Yeah, so I think my parents are just divorced, and I reckon a girl I was talking to ended up like cheating on me, I reckon.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, no, it's alright. Obviously I can't pin the blame on one girl, like she's not the reason like this will happen, but I reckon like if you go back to the very first videos, they're sort of about like this one girl and like about my parents and whatnot, and I just used sounds and like audios that I thought were cool and just post like 3 or 4 times a day, just like real stuff, and it slowly started to pick up.
Yeah, beautiful, man. So that was actually my next question, is who was the girl that hurt you, my bro? Who was the girl that started and obviously I understand if you don't want to name drop, but it must have been an experience, brother, because all the content that has came from it is overwhelming. So
I can't really like pin it on one girl, like maybe
all of them.
well maybe I had like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 situationships over like a 2-year period, and just like I reckon I was too head over heels for like the first couple, and they just like weren't treating me good. And then like when I sort of realized it, I would kind of like put it on social media, and guys would like relate to it and whatnot. And then like all the stuff I'd learnt like over the next year in my like relationships and talking stages and whatnot, I'd kind of just like put it on social media, and guys would sort of just like it and take exactly.
Because it's a very interesting. I mean, I've had a relationship for the last 2 years, but I've heard like from friends and whatnot, the game out there is very interesting now. Like I'm not sure if it's due to OnlyFans having an impact, but I know that I'm hearing that a lot of females now, they're just very what's the word? They're very selective and they're very like you have to be the perfect guy to a T.
Yeah.
And if you're anything less, get the ick trend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Girl, you have to be perfect, and if you're not, girls won't look at you. And I thought that was a bit like I was like, oh, that's like a bunch of talk. But then I've just been hearing from friends and stuff when they go out, that's what they're experiencing.
Yeah, I mean, like it can be pretty rough, but I think you shouldn't really be worrying about girls unless your life's moving. Like obviously you don't need to have like a house and a 9 to 5 before you start dating, but like if you're still like skinny and like you don't really have your money up, like all that kind of basic stuff, like you shouldn't really be worrying about a girl. But that being said, like it's pretty good motivation if like you're going through a breakup to like get in the gym or start that business.
Would you find that success is the best revenge, so to say? Well, not even the best revenge, the best way to move on.
Yeah, definitely. I reckon like I definitely like find myself thinking about, not anymore because I don't think many people know, but I'm in a relationship.
Oh, great. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, 2 years. I've had a missus, yeah.
Really? 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I had no idea, man.
Yeah, so...
So you keep it private for a certain reason?
Yeah, I keep it private. But, yeah, I feel like if you kind of just like really like think about her all the time, like to a degree, like it's going to be pretty bad, but if you're like always thinking about the pain and whatnot, you can really just like use that and channel it into like what you need to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, like being successful like after a breakup is definitely a good feeling. But you don't really want to, you're not winning for them. Like you don't want to shove it in their face. Like if anything, you should be blocking them or removing them as a follower. I reckon just like you got to do it for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Very solid advice, bro. It's the biggest focus is yourself in those situations. And funnily enough, the girl, I don't know if this statistic is true, but from my experience, 9 times out of 10 will come back if you work on yourself, and not because you're doing it for them, because you are genuinely working on yourself.
Yeah, and
to get
they
better.
see the potential.
And then they're like, oh, I'm missing out, and then they want to, it's like, no, hold on.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah, no, that definitely does happen for sure.
Yeah. And it is a little bit of a feeling of when you can say, no, you're not all good, but it's more you are getting better as you get older. Like you are constantly improving. And I think, well, you should be aiming to constantly improve.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is the main thing. But that's some very solid advice. If you're going through a bad breakup, is to get your bread up.
Yeah.
Find ways to make more money.
Yeah. I feel like I kind of find it hard to word, but I feel like if you're taking every part of your life and you're separating it and you're working on it, you're just going to become like a better person overall. Like obviously,
it's hard.
It's easy to say like, oh, how is, like dressing better going to help me get over her? How is being cleaner going to help me get over her? How is like getting a better physique going to help me get over her? But once you like improve all these aspects in your life, like it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And like while you're doing that, you're gonna be busy. You're not really gonna be thinking about it. But yeah, I feel like if you're trying to improve like every single aspect of your life, it definitely will help you get over it for sure.
100%, bro. It's very good advice for guys watching at home. Very good advice there if you get into a breakup. I went for a really bad breakup, similar to you. I got cheated on in like a shocking way, bro. Shocking. But I turned that into, I don't know if you saw the gym content I was putting out.
Yeah.
I was quite hurt at the time. But I channeled that energy into something good, and then, put on I've lost it now because I'm just working on this business, but I put on a lot of muscle, and I actually went to work in town.
Yeah.
And every weekend I was getting hit on.
Yeah, right.
Like I was working behind the bars, like numbers, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. A lot of time I had girls coming up to me. Guess what they had on their lock screen?
Oh, man.
Their boyfriends. So I was completely put off women for about 8 months. I didn't want to date. I was like, I'm sick of women. Like, I want to stay away from them. So a girl come up, I was like, no, like I'm not interested. And all I focused on was, the things you said, going to the gym every day, making meaningful connections, focusing on, making more money in different ways.
Yeah.
And bro, it's been I actually am grateful what happened to me happened and I got cheated on the way I did.
Yeah.
Because it gave me the character development I think I really needed to get my life on track. So it is bad, but at the same time,
it's definitely like a blessing in disguise for
100%, 100%. So we're getting a little bit off track, but some great stuff here, man. Some good stuff for the guys at home watching, and girls, of course. You're going through some tough times, but yeah. So pretty much your content creation. So you started creating content. It started picking up in 2021. Did you say?
Yeah, I reckon so. Like, I was stuck on like maybe 5,000 followers for a couple months, and then just like.
So 4 times a day was your method every day?
Yeah, consistency is like a massive one. Yeah, just no matter like just every day.
Okay. Cool.
Obviously, like I was going through it then, so it was really easy to just like pump out quotes and whatnot. And yeah, like just in a week, like gain like 100,000 followers or something crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, definitely like turn my life around.
Yeah.
In like a week. So yeah, that was pretty unreal for sure.
Because I think when I was going through, I saw some of your stuff and I reshared it, and then I was like, I looked at it, said Adelaide. I went, oh no way, it's like this guy's in Adelaide. And I think that's when we met up and did the interview.
Yeah.
Shout out to the interview. I'll quickly show it now on the video. That was an interesting one. The quality's not there, but it's much better.
Nah, that's alright.
But yeah, man, that's some exciting stuff. So yeah, you started picking up the content, started doing really well. Your method was posting 4 times a day, every day. Now, I want to know what flipped the switch in your mind for monetization? Because obviously we just spoke about how there's not a lot of money for creators in Australia. So how did you find, okay, I've got a platform, but how can I monetize this? What was your strategy in doing that?
I reckon initially I wasn't really thinking about money, and I feel like that's why like I was so successful in growth at the start, because I wasn't like doing trends. I wasn't like picking sounds that were trendy. I was kind of just like doing what I thought sounded cool and what I thought looked cool. So yeah, so people kind of saw like I wasn't just like a robot, and they kind of connected. But when the time was right and I kind of like grew up a bit and like realized the importance of money, I noticed that I was getting a lot of comments about my hair, because I feel like maybe mullets were kind of new back then. And I'd use this one product which was like a sea salt spray. And instead of sending all of these people that were asking about my hair to someone else's brand, I just made my own and directed them there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So you essentially had a problem and you just fixed it.
Yeah, it was definitely like a demand for it, and like, you know, I was like obviously smart enough to realize like I probably shouldn't be sending them to someone else's.
Were they giving you commission as well?
No. So
so you were just making the money essentially.
No, I didn't send them like to anyone else.
Yeah.
So like I had a brand that I used, and I just gate kept it. I didn't tell anyone like what I was doing for my hair until I made my own.
Yeah, fair.
And then I just like sent them all that way, and it
cool.
did all right. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Well, I mean, if you, like you said, you got the brand for it, why not, you know? Has there been any other products? I think you created a clothing brand.
Yeah, merchandise. Like that's pretty good as a creator. Like it's a good like avenue to do, but it really depends on how relevant you are at the moment. So not many people, like no one's going to buy a hoodie that says "In Goon We Trust" if they don't know who I am.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's really like limited. Like your customers have to be like your audience.
Yeah.
Whereas like a cosmetic company, people will buy the hairspray even if they don't know who I am. So I think it's important to do other businesses other than merchandise if you're a creator, for sure.
So in terms of your monetization of what you're doing, so you're focusing on the sea salt spray and the powder, I believe, the styling powder. Do we have some here? Yes,
yeah, we do actually.
Beautiful. We got some here, so if you want to show the camera, tell us a little bit more about it.
Yes, we got the sea salt hairspray. I'll try and keep it intact because we're doing a photo shoot after this. I got the sea salt hairspray. Just chuck a few in your hair, it makes your hair curly, and then an upcoming product, the texture powder as well. So cheeky plug there, but this is like the best seller, definitely. Yeah,
beautiful. Well, these are great products as well. We'll chuck them in the middle. These are good because I think that's the main thing as guys. You don't really know what to use for your hair. You kind of like, just get out the shower. It is what it is, or a bit of gel that's just like clumpy.
Yeah, the classic.
Stuff, so. Yeah, because blokes are very very relaxed on their appearance.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that is changing a bit.
They're taking more notice of it.
Yeah, like people are kind of into fashion a bit more. Like
Yeah.
you see like everyone's wearing the button ups and the jorts and
Yeah.
like all that basic stuff. So I think there's like a bit more market for it now.
Now
Definitely.
they're taking on their appearance a bit more.
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
Which is good, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like, blokes, and I think another product I was actually going to suggest is you should do skincare for men.
Yeah, definitely.
Because a lot of guys don't really do that.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, there's definitely a big market for that.
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing that's stopping me is the fact that it's kind of hard in Australia. Like you'd have to go through so many regulations and like the ingredients would have to be like
into it, or this
yeah,
just from
sort of.
spray.
I've worked with skincare brands in the past, and all of them have like folded and now they're not like a business anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously
It's
is
quite a difficult market.
yeah, definitely.
Unless, let's say, you could do all three at
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be
it'd be good. I think just like the licenses or whatever is required is
Yeah,
quite
might be
difficult.
tough. Okay.
Yeah, but
Perfect.
definitely in the future,
In
maybe.
the future, yeah. Because I thought, if your audience, because like I said, guys don't really know what to do for their hair, whatnot, they don't really give like two craps. But then you have this product, and then they're like, oh, I should probably do some more stuff for my skin, especially guys with acne.
Yeah.
Would be the biggest one, like young guys. A lot of young people go through it when they go through puberty.
Oh
and
yeah,
what
for
the
sure.
acne's
Everyone,
used.
I reckon.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have really bad acne when you were growing up?
No,
Or?
not that
It
bad,
was
but
pretty chill.
yeah, I still like had a skincare routine, and I do
Okay.
I do now.
Yeah, kill
Like
it.
something basic, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it the three? You gotta like rinse with something, wash it off, and then put something on, and then put it
Oh,
on.
you know,
Is that
like
what you do?
when I remember.
You gatekeep me, are you?
No, when I remember, I'll like wash my face
Yeah.
and then I use like moisturizer every day.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's
Yeah.
about it, I
Yeah,
reckon.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's bro. Cool. Well, so that's how you started monetizing your brand. Obviously, have you thought much about YouTube or YouTube Shorts or live streaming?
YouTube Shorts I already do,
Yep.
so I think that it's easier said than done. But remembering to post on Snapchat, Spotlight, and YouTube, I think that is a big one.
All three at the same
Yeah.
time, 4 times a day.
Yeah, well, Reels, TikTok.
Yeah.
Because once you like come up with the idea and you make the video, it only takes an extra few seconds to do like to post it on.
Captions, hashtag.
Yeah, it only takes like a little bit extra to post it on YouTube and Snapchat and Instagram. So I do Instagram Reels. I do YouTube Shorts, but YouTube I do want to start. I just don't really know what to do. I was planning on doing it in Thailand, but it just didn't really.
You need
Didn't
someone
really
filming
happen.
for you, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
You need a camera person.
Yeah.
Well, at CC Specialists, we are one of the
Yeah.
best in Adelaide. Nah,
Yeah,
fair
let's
enough,
do it.
bro. Well, fair enough. Well, live streaming is definitely a way to go. I've actually done it a couple of times, and I think the first time I did, I made $50 in like 20 minutes. Or something
Yeah,
like
right.
that. And there's a bit of money definitely in America for it. Like they are killing it right now. But
Yeah.
My thought is, I'm looking at these like kids essentially doing it in America. I'm like, why can't we do that here? I feel like we have a lot of interesting Australian people that are funny, entertaining. Like, I don't know if you've ever met Jackson DeHardy. He big creator in Australia.
No, is he the older one, like black hair?
Yeah, a bit older, tattoos.
Yeah, no, I haven't met him.
Haven't met him? Oh, okay,
No.
but you know.
Yeah, I know
what I'm
who he
referring
is.
to.
Yeah.
He looks like an entertaining bloke, like the crazy stuff he does all day. And
Yeah.
he doesn't even do it, which is surprising because I thought he would be killing it. But I think in Australia, that is something that might need to happen, bringing live streaming here. I think that would actually be very good for the creators here.
Yeah, I think there are a few people that do it now, like a fella called Zad Stew.
Okay, yeah.
Even my brother was on one of his streams like
Yep.
a few weeks ago.
On TikTok, YouTube, or Twitch?
Twitch. They were doing like an E-date, and he does it
okay.
like nearly every day. So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
definitely like starting up.
Yeah, beautiful.
And you said that you earned like $50.
Yeah.
In
20 minutes.
in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not even the most important bit. Obviously there is like a bit of money to be made, but
Yeah.
I reckon with streaming they can like really see who you are.
Yeah, true.
And all the clips that get posted, even if they're not getting posted to your account, like it still kind of puts your name like in the mix. Like people.
Well, some people
know.
pay, sorry to cut you off, they pay
No, you're right.
people called clippers. Essentially,
Yeah.
what they do is they look at your stream and they get the best bits and pieces, put like a you know, a GTA loading screen,
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
Minecraft thing, and then put the
We
actual
upload
clip,
it.
and then bang, and then because they're in America, they're getting $1,000 per million views. But you need clippers to make streams popular.
Yeah, for sure, and that like brings people to the streams as well. But I feel like, yeah, there's more to streaming than just like getting money from subs. Yeah, it's kind of like,
it's about having fun.
Yeah, exactly, and being, you know, like more connected to your audience, I reckon.
That's it, yeah. It'd be good for you to try it.
Yeah, I reckon.
Have you considered it, or?
Yeah, I feel like I'm too nonchalant, like...
You reckon?
Yeah, I don't have like a huge personality in front of the camera.
Yeah, fair.
I definitely, like, I used to do TikTok lives a fair bit,
which
is, you know,
was it the ones where people were like donating and you do battles? And what?
Nah, it was just when I was like packaging orders for the merch, I'd just like chuck on a live and have a chat.
Yeah, cool.
Which is like, yeah, so I've dabbled my feet in it.
Nice.
I definitely should be doing it.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
I reckon.
Bro. Well, is there any people you feel inspired by? Any other creators out there?
I do. In America, there's like a sort of like group of people called the Cookieverse. I don't know if you know them, like Cookie King, Dylan Lathan. I feel like those sort of groups I'd love to have in like Australia, like where they've all got beef or they're forming friendships and whatnot, and they're all like streaming and making content together. I do really wish that was in Australia, but I feel like there's not too many people that are doing like similar content to what I do.
But that's kind of good though, because you don't have competition.
Yeah, exactly. So like obviously there's people that I take advice from like in my circle, but I don't really have like much of an inspiration, I don't reckon.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Now, I for inspiration, I definitely see, you know, KSI. The things that he's done with boxing, his content. I mean, he's on Britain's Got Talent now. You know,
yeah, I saw that.
Insane. Because I remember watching him when I was a kid, like playing like little horror games, and the stuff he's done for his career is insane. But it's all possible.
Yeah, I do see you kind of similar to him. Like you've obviously got so many avenues with like the podcasts and your own personal brand and the marketing and whatnot.
Yeah.
That is sort of like what KSI's got going on. Like
he's got
a bit of everything.
But I think, I mean, his fight with who did he fight? Tommy Fury. I don't know if you watched it.
I reckon I did.
I was very like I thought he won that fight.
Yeah.
Watching that. And I was upset he didn't win it because I thought, well, maybe the Furies are trying to defend their title and they can't lose
for
to
sure,
YouTube,
yeah.
and maybe there's something dodgy under the table going on there. But I thought because he has his fingers dipped in so many pies, but he still makes it work, because the hardest thing is you lose focus when you're so spread out.
Yeah, I reckon it's necessary though, like
100% to be successful.
A lot of big creators that like I'm friends with in Australia, I noticed quite recently that they're doing a bit of everything. Like they might have a podcast and a second Instagram account, and they might like buy into another business or have multiple businesses. Like they've kind of got, it's very like in depth, like what they're doing. Like they've got a bit of everything going on, and it's obviously working for them. So I reckon it's important to not just have one avenue of...
Well, the saying is, I say it all the time on my Instagram, is make the 9 to 5 the 5 to 9.
Yeah.
So you use the money from your whatever job and then you put it into your project, your passion projects. For example, like, you know, running a marketing company, you know, doing the podcast, doing other businesses on the side.
Yeah.
Because at one point I was doing like 100 to 80 hours a week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was making great money, but I was doing like, I was burnt out. I burnt out after about 6 months.
Yeah. That's still like a long time.
Yeah.
That's a good effort.
I did, man. It made me a lot of money, and it still is making me money because I did work quite hard to build what I built.
Yeah.
But I think I saw it on a podcast somewhere. The easiest way to be successful is you need multiple income streams, not just one.
Yeah.
Mind you, you could be a neurosurgeon, make 200 grand a year.
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's fair enough.
That's fantastic. But for those that aren't a neurosurgeon, you know, that need to make a bit more money, I think the way to do it is through different income streams, and that always inspired me to go out and try and do that. But you have to be passionate about what you do.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big one.
If you're not passionate about what you do, it's not going to work.
Yeah, like you have to, if you've got a product-based business, you have to actually use a product, or, believe in what you're doing.
Exactly.
That's a big one, I reckon.
Because it'll falter, and I think people can tell
Yeah.
as well. For example, you use these products probably
Every day, mate.
Every day.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Whereas,
passion is there.
Yeah, like, and if I was promoting like another person's business and I didn't really use it, like my followers would be able to see through it, I reckon.
Yeah, they're kind of like paid, like they'd call it like paid partnership.
Sell out, yeah.
Yeah, sell out, yeah. Have you ever done that for someone and all these people have called you a sellout before?
Nah, I don't do too many
paid promos.
Yeah, paid promos.
Is there a reason for that? You want to keep your brand pretty
Yeah, cause I've just got my own businesses, and when I do the paid promos, I kind of only do like products that I do use, or if it's like my mate's brand or something. I just kind of keep it pretty strict and just do my own stuff, I reckon.
Beautiful. And I want to circle back. We spoke a little bit about it off the pod, but you went to Thailand recently, which is quite cool. So, explain what Thailand was like and why did you go?
Yeah, it's unreal. Like, such a good lifestyle. I recently started training Muay Thai, so
for the first time.
Yeah. So I started a couple months ago, and then went to Thailand. Before I went, I extended my trip, so I stayed there for 3.5 weeks.
Wow. Just
training 2 to 3 times a day, eating, like having a nap, getting a massage, swimming in the pool, like the life.
Is this a solo trip or?
No, I went with 2 mates. Yeah. One of my mates left after 2 weeks, and one of them left after 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So just pretty much went there to train. Didn't do too much touristy stuff.
Yeah, fair.
Was just kind of locked in.
Were your mates trying to get you out to party and stuff? And just like, no.
No. My other mate actually fights in Australia, so he was like more locked in than me.
Yeah, huge.
But yeah, I only had like 3 beers in Thailand, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Discipline.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I was just over there to train Muay Thai.
What inspired you to learn Muay Thai over there? Was it your friend who's a fighter?
Yeah, he got me into it because we were going to go to Thailand regardless, and I was like, I might as well learn it in Australia, and then so I've got the basics down for when I get there, and then I fell in love with it, and I've been doing it like as much as I can ever since, and obviously I'm not stopping now that I'm back. Like, I'd love to have an amateur fight, eventually. Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. How far do you think you're away from doing it? Probably train for like a year, half a year.
Yeah, maybe like half a year. Like it'd be pretty dope if I could have a fight this year.
Yeah.
I guess like just see how much I improve.
Cool. And what was the training like in Thailand? Is it different to training? Or you don't know what training is like in South Australia?
No, I trained for like 2 months before.
Oh, I thought you started your training in Thailand.
No, 2 months before.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Was the training different from here to there?
Yeah, definitely. It's like a lot more. They're kind of like old style. They're definitely not science based. Like, it's all just about like discipline and doing the same thing over and over and over. So it's a lot more physical in Thailand. And obviously it's their sport. So like all the coaches are like unreal. Yeah.
Wow.
But I got pretty good coaches in Adelaide, and they definitely helped me improve heaps. So I was able to like hold my own in Thailand, but obviously got a lot to learn.
Was there ever a moment when you're like, oh my fuck, like were you ever finding someone in Thailand that you're a little bit like, oh fuck, alright, like this might be a bit?
Oh, there's definitely like people that go like pretty hard in sparring and whatnot. Obviously like it's a bit softer. Like, you don't spar as hard in Adelaide, but yeah, like you get hit in the head and you're like, oh man, like you just want to go home. Yeah.
It just started.
Yeah.
Well, you said it was 6-hour training days. Did you say?
Yeah. So like there'll be training in the morning and in the afternoon, and if you're getting a PT during then, like it almost like 5 or 6 hours. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty long.
That's huge.
Yeah.
But I feel like you put in the hard work, the more you learn.
Yeah, exactly.
The more you benefit from it.
And you're coming back and you've got 50 hours of or 100 hours of experience. Yeah. And you're only doing 5 hours a week in Adelaide, so you come back and you've improved heaps.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good experience for sure.
What would you recommend to people that want to get into fighting? What do you think is a good sport? Would you say Muay Thai is probably the best one to learn, or? Yeah,
I guess it depends on your interests and maybe your body type as well. If you're a bit shorter and stockier, maybe boxing.
Yeah.
I feel because I'm taller, and like got like a alright mobility and played soccer, I feel like Muay Thai was good for me. But if you watch the UFC heaps, maybe MMA is for you because you'd like actually enjoy it and be more passionate about it.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. I can't really speak on it too much because I'm still like new. But
you're still quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my feelings are on that.
Beautiful, bro. Well, some great stuff we've covered today, which I'm really happy about. Now, what is some great advice you would tell young men that want to start a business or they want to, like they want to start a business or they need to work on themselves? What's some great advice you can give them?
I would say, that's a good question. I reckon just try and do like as much as you can and don't like think about it too much. Like just try and start as many businesses as you can. I don't know,
Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly check, just do a triple check of everything's right.
No storage full.
Yeah, imagine.
What was the question?
Usually I have Jordan overlooking everything. I'm actually just going to pause the cameras for a sec. So the next question I had for you, brother, is so you had your relationship for 2 years.
Yeah, over 2 years now.
What would you say? Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
What makes a good girlfriend, essentially? What would make a good girl to have in this day and age?
I think, like with the business aspect, someone that like really pushes you to do it. Like obviously, with your own business, you don't have a boss that is giving you a deadline. You don't have like a lecturer or a teacher that is telling you when you need to do stuff. So having a girl that like really motivates you to do that is a big one. And I feel like having a girlfriend like on its own is pretty big motivation. Like you really want to provide for her. So I think like just having any girl in your life that you love is like pretty big motivation. But obviously someone that supports you and is willing to be with you like before you've made it is definitely a big one, I reckon.
Yeah, some qualities. So she's willing to stick with you. She's willing to ride the bus with you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like investment for sure.
100%. Buy low, sell high. Well, not sell, keep. Hopefully.
Yeah, keep high.
Exactly. Yeah. That's some good things. I think it's very cheating is a popular thing. I think, and I think it's very hard for some people to stay loyal, essentially, as well as other things. I think a lot of people tend to have money problems, and one common problem I actually hear about. A lot of guys tell me this. They probably would tell you this is my girlfriend goes out to the club with her single friends.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
One. Yeah, and that's a tricky one because we're a little bit more traditional, like how our relationship runs. So that just means we just respect one another and we listen to each other. We'll try to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely seen a lot when girls do go out with their single friends. I'm gonna get a little bit of hate for this, but because I did work in clubbing for 2 to 3 years, I was doing it for a while, interviews behind the bar, you name it.
Yeah, you've seen it all.
Lots of women in relationships cheating, lots and lots of it in the clubs. Yeah. So from that experience, I've seen a lot of women do that. If my girlfriend's I want to go to the club with my single friends, I'm like,
yeah, a bit iffy about it.
Let's have a chat. Yeah, let's have a chat about it. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of guys who are probably where we were a couple years ago, where they're learning how to be in relationships, because there's a certain preset you kind of figure out, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like you kind of have to, okay, like she messages, I've got to wait a bit. Like little things like that.
Yeah.
You figure
it's
out
like bro
as you
code
go.
almost.
Yeah, you figure out as you go, and it's kind of like the law of, I'm not going to say the law of reason, but like what's a good way to put it? The law of talking to girls.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Simple.
2025. Yeah. So what are some red flags? I want to know.
Yeah, I reckon if she like always wants to go out, like obviously if you're doing that as well, like maybe it's not that bad, but say if you're
if you're not and then she wants
yeah, exactly, like then your personalities probably don't align. Like if you met her at the club, like what makes you think that she's gonna stop going? Like if you're really like locked into the gym or your fitness and she's not really like that, like it might not really work out.
Yeah.
Another red flag I reckon is probably still in contact with her ex. or like has a lot of guy friends, like it's just kind of iffy. And like if you do end up dating her, it's just like a shit feeling.
Because you're always worried and always
like you can't really trust her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relax. You don't want to have to be checking her phone or looking over your shoulder, like worried about. Because the thing is, when you start worrying about everything that your girl's doing, is you tend to lose yourself a little bit.
Yeah, you can't really focus on what matters, like, you know,
Exactly.
business or your goals or whatever.
You know, it's funny. Every time I've gotten out of a relationship or a breakup, I've always done really well for myself.
Yeah.
From it, because I think I've always been so motivated to just going.
Yeah, well, that's when like it's peak motivation. Like I get so many messages every day saying like, "Oh, Goon, I've just been dumped. Like I don't know what to do," and I just have to tell them like, "Bro, like this is peak motivation. Like you have to prove her wrong. You know, like you should just be working on yourself, like fixing absolutely everything about you. Start a new business, try and do better at school. Like you should just use that.
Workout.
Yeah, literally anything. Like try harder in sport, try and do better, get better grades at school. You know, like."
And at first, people might hear that and go, "Oh, like I feel so low. Like I can't be bothered doing that." But what that does is, because you are doing positive things, you're creating a chemical reaction in your brain called dopamine, like good dopamine, not dopamine from scrolling on your phone or watching porn or whatever, like good dopamine, where you're essentially working hard and you're doing things and achieving things, which makes you feel better. And that's why people will say, "Oh, just do this and do this," and it's easy for us to say that, but when you go and do those things,
yeah, you're
like
feeling better, and you're not really thinking about her anymore. Like you're keeping busy. Like when you're doing all these things, she's not in your mind anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna just be sitting at home feeling sorry for yourself. Like you're actually getting out there and getting shit done.
Which is a big thing, because I think men's mental health is sometimes, I think it is sometimes a little bit overlooked. It definitely is difficult for guys, I think, to share, you know, how they feel. So I think it is good that you've created a page where guys do feel comfortable to say, "Hey, look, like this is what happened."
Yeah.
You know, ... Because I get, not probably to the extent you get, but I get similar messages for all those things. So I put like a lot of motivational stuff. Like, you know, how to be and like get your life on track and do well for yourself. And it is very difficult for guys to open up, but it is good when they do it to their mates and guys they do know, because they're on the road to improvement.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely
very important and good for people. So beautiful, man. That's some really good stuff there. So we've pretty much covered all of it. So we've talked about your early life. We've spoken about your content and your successes with it, how it started. Did you ever want to give up at any point doing content?
No, not really. Like, obviously sometimes it's hard to keep going, like, because like consistency is like a really big thing. But for the most part, like I kind of just love making videos. Like I love the sounds and whatnot, like, and the trends and everything. So no, it's been pretty easy. Like if you love what you're doing, it's not too hard. Yeah, for sure. Like so many people are making these pages saying like vlogging every day until I get 100,000 followers. And I don't really think that's a good way to go about it, because like you're just doing it for the number. Like it's kind of you're literally like telling everyone that you're not passionate about it. You're just doing it for the followers. And you're just gonna burn out. Exactly. I feel like you have to like love what you do, I reckon.
Because you just look at it, nothing's happening. It's like, oh. And that's you know, it's funny. That's a common creative thing, but isn't that everything in life? Like the gym, a new job, a business, like, you know, a new maybe love interest. Like it's difficult. Well, love interest shouldn't be difficult. I'll cut that one out. But with a business, the gym, working out, you know, something new, it is always difficult to start in the middle, and it takes a lot of work to get to where you want to get to. Yeah,
you have to definitely like the process. You have to love the process. Otherwise, you're not gonna really be able to do it. Like obviously the end goal is going to be the best part, but you have to enjoy going to work or enjoy going to the gym every day. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen.
Would you say gym is like probably the best thing for entrepreneurs? One of the best? Because it teaches discipline and
I don't think the gym is like be all end all. Like I haven't lifted in 2 months. Obviously the gym is pretty common, and I feel like entrepreneurs that maybe we look up to go to the gym, but you know, like maybe they do like a combat sport, or they're just trying to like stay healthy. I think the gym is definitely like a good aspect, but you can definitely be like a successful entrepreneur and not lift weights.
Yeah, 100%. I've just found it's very good because it gives people natural dopamine, teaches discipline, teaches you how to stay focused, because that's a difficult thing, because I feel like most people have ADHD now. And they're all over the shop. And I blame it on phones, because you're always looking at phones, you get distracted very easily. But I found, gym is a very helpful thing for some people. But you're absolutely right. Like, you don't have to be obsessed with the gym to be successful.
Yeah, any like sort of like physical activity, I reckon,
is a good start. So, beautiful, man. Well, we've covered your monetization. Now, I want to ask you, what is next for Goon? What is next on your plate?
I definitely want to try something new. Like, if I'm being honest with myself, I don't think I'll be able to retire in 30 years from Lagoon. Obviously, I want to take that as far as I can, and like get it in like hundreds of stores and get way more products. But I'm always thinking about what the next business avenue is. I'm not too sure yet. Like, maybe even start one with my younger brother.
That'd be cool.
Sam, because he's obviously killing it at the moment.
Sick.
In social
media. Is he doing similar content to you, or sort of content to you?
I'll show you later. Like, maybe you can put some in the video now. Yeah, just like sort of funny stuff. Like,
okay, cool.
I'm sort of like the nonchalant one, and he's the funny one.
Yeah, cool.
Obviously, I don't find it funny, but
fair. We are the older brother, so...
Yeah, exactly. So maybe start something with him.
Yeah, cool.
But any business, maybe product, service, I just want to obviously take this as far as I can and, do something else. Because I've got a lot of spare time still, so I can definitely start something else, I reckon.
Perfect. And you also said you wanted to fight this year?
Yeah, that would be like pretty good personal goal of mine.
Yeah, awesome.
That would be... unreal, I reckon.
Cool.
Have a scrap.
So you're going to be fighting not on the streets, but professionally.
Yeah, amateur.
And then get some more products out this year. Beautiful, bro, beautiful. Well, I think I asked you before, but the camera's cut off for a second there. What is some advice you'd like to give some young men that want to start a business, want to be successful? What is some advice you'd give them?
I feel like maybe think outside the box. Like, obviously there's so many like just generic businesses like drop shipping or like selling a course, like how people say like DME start to do this. I feel like steering away from those options and maybe just doing something like where you're mowing lawns or just something simple. Like, it doesn't have to be an online kind of like cheap e-commerce business. It can be like literally anything, because all the skills, like, they all work together. So maybe you're learning how to like mow someone's garden, but you're getting skills to talk to customers, or maybe you're running the accounts on that. They all just kind of work together. So I reckon, just stay away from the generic businesses like drop shipping and whatnot. And think outside the box, do something you're passionate about.
Yeah, cool. That's some good advice for the young lads watching.
Yeah.
And stay true to yourself, boys. I suppose that's the best
way
to
exactly.
Put it. Don't put up with disrespect. But I think in relationships, sorry to take it back there, in relationships, what does sometimes happen is I think guys do sometimes get chipped away at.
Yeah.
Over time, I think. But I think you have to stand your ground and be like, all right, these are my things. As women do as well, they're like, these are my, non-negotiables.
Boundaries.
Boundaries, that's the word. And I think that's quite fair. So stick to your boundaries, lads. Thank you for watching the podcast. And Ruben, do you have a message for our audience before we sign off?
Oh, that's a good one. I reckon, do as much as you can while you're young. Earn as much money and try and improve yourself. Obviously, I'm not perfect. But just work hard, I reckon.
Get out there and
get to it, Beautiful. Fucking get shit done.
Beautiful.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you for being a part of the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Beautiful.